Hello and welcome to Auto Trend All About Cars with CJ. Today we'll look at the Mercedes GL450 Airmatic Suspension. Watch this. Hello, welcome to Auto Trend videos for today, and I want to show you something about a vehicle and you can tell me if you've ever experienced this in your driving experience. This is a GL450. Look at this car. All on the floor. All on the floor. Totally on the floor. Now, what could be the reason for this? You know, the GL has an Airmatic suspension, which is powered by an Airmatic pump, run through some air pipes with an air balloon that raises the vehicle when it starts up to a riding height and reduces it when it is parking. Now, for this kind of fault on a Mercedes with an air ride suspension, it means that the air pump has failed. The air pump is not reciprocating accordingly, the calibration is faulty, and this is the biggest challenge for the Mercedes brand. The tendency for their air pumps to fail is quite high, basically because most people who drive them in Nigeria do not take the appropriate air setting when they are driving. Some don't know that if you don't set it very well and it is riding on inappropriate road, which means a road that is not compatible with the setting on the car, is going to bump on the air ride, force it to crack up, and with the setting itself, the setting will become what will puncture the balloons. And once the balloons fail, you're going to have your GL, a very heavy car, more than 3,000 pounds on the floor like this, and it is quite a very big problem. So what are the solution and what is the path to recovering this vehicle? Number one, you're going to check if the sensors are working. By the time you open up this vehicle, check the sensors in there if they are receiving enough communication with the ECU to raise the pump. Number two is if the pumps are bad, then you have to lose the pumps, change them to a newer pump. Okay. Number three is if the balloons are still working. A pierced balloon front and back, which is the air suspension, it's off. You have to change it, buy a new set of what, then calibrate it accordingly. Now, if you're driving a GL450, a GLC, a GLA, M-Class, whichever, you must be very careful with your air ride. Once the air ride gets to this level, that once you park, it literally drops on the floor. And then when you notice when you drive a vehicle like this, it will be skipping because there is no shock absorber. There is nothing absorbing the road shock it is receiving. That's why you have the tires like this. What is my advice? If you're driving any of these kind of vehicles, make sure you have a mechanic that understands the Airmatic suspension of the GL or the Mercedes, and then who is able to change these balloons on the four sides of the car, then calibrate them accordingly so that they can be raised when the car switches and be set on the terrain. There's a terrain marking for this vehicle, so if you're going to be driving on a very undulating area, then you have to set it accordingly so that the air suspension will be able to read the terrain and adjust accordingly within the program speed and the calibration set for it by the Mercedes brand. So it's important that you know how this thing works. It's not a total write-off for this car. I've seen terrible cases where, it was it has to be towed to be brought to the service center. But this one was driven here quietly, calmly, when the road was free. So quite a very not good experience. But once we finish working on this, take it into our Ward 5, have it raised, loosen it out, now find out exactly what is wrong with it. The Airmatic pump is basically bad. Then the balloons will be reinstalled. Then this car is going to be riding up again on the right height for each movement. So I want you to take this advice from me that Airmatic rides are good, very comfortable, very steady on the road, but you need to know how to take care of them, to drive them very well. My name is CJ the Boss, and if this is your first time of watching our videos, I'd like you to click on the like button, drop your comments, and if you have any challenges with your car, I'll be able to respond to you accordingly. Or also go to the link on my bio and watch more videos on my channel on YouTube. Subscribe, also drop your comments, and hit that bell button to know when we have a new video coming up. In case you have a challenge, always drop my inbox and chat me up. I'll be able to respond to you. All about cars with CJ. See ya, the boss. Welcome to El Dorado Hotels and Event Center, the perfect place for your relaxation, chill out, hangouts, birthdays. Welcome.
One time, let's go, no wish. We not the die. We got that the word of God will not die. Gidigba, we not die. Eternal life, you know.